I have actually set up my presentation in a way that I will talk about first the building that we already have done. That has received LEED certificate, LEED Gold. Also, it was elected as the best office building in Baltics not too much time ago. Then I'll talk a little bit about the standards in general, what I think about it. I mean, is there any future in it? And then I show our next project that is already in construction. So the end part will be fun. Okay, the Navigator building. The story is actually pretty simple. That it was in 2011 when we were looking on new ideas what to do next, and then we decided to go more on development. And we were looking on good locations. So this is where our idea about the Navigator building actually originally came from. It's all about location. It's city center, very visible location, and we believe that it will be a good one. Although the moment that we were deciding to buy it, the land, then financially it was total failure. I mean, the cost and return, we saw no profit in it. But we also believe that it was just a recent recession crisis behind us, and we were very certain that in CBD areas the prices will recover faster than in other areas. So then we decided to go forward. And that is the original kind of movie that this is one of the few materials we had about it when we decided that we do it. It doesn't look very nice on this one, but the only one thing that it does show you, it's very complicated because of its shape. I mean, ideally any office building, the most efficient one and easier to construct is a box. Simple, 4 sides, as high as possible, of course, and some normal parking. This one is very far from it. There is nothing normal in it. All these shapes, yeah, I can show you. But these ones, I mean, it is both construction-wise very complicated and room planning-wise. I mean, later on you have to lease it out. I mean, it's not an architectural monument. It's still idea is to make business with it. And these ones, all these shapes, they created actually a very big challenge for us how to solve it. The total area of the facade compared to a normal square box is almost 2 times more. So basically you invest 2 times more in the facade and you don't get anything extra out of it. Only maybe visual plus that it looks strange. So when we started, we had an idea. We knew that we have to do something different in order to be able to compete with other projects. We knew that it will be much more expensive than any other building which is going to be developed more or less the same time. So we had to do something really different. So we decided that instead of trying to make the building cheaper, we will try to make it more expensive. And that's why we decided to go and seek for licenses. There is 2 most well-known licenses about efficiency and design. One is BREEAM, another one is LEED. So we did a very simple thing. As from Tallinn, Helsinki is very close. I mean, 2 hours you're in Helsinki with a ferry. So we went to see our friends in Helsinki. We visited YIT, Kausta, very well represented here also, and Skanska, who used to be in Baltic market. They had a lot of experience in both BREEAM and LEED buildings, so we went to see what they have done and what is kind of the real value of these buildings. Why are they different? Why they do it? Because it's more expensive than compared to a normal one. And as a result of these visits and our investigation, we decided to choose LEED Gold as our target level. I have been many times asked why we selected actually LEED Gold. I mean, there is also a BREEAM certificate that is similar to it. And the answer is very simple. It's not about that LEED was cheaper compared to BREEAM or something like that, or it's not either a technical question. Just that the consultants we met and we spoke at that time, we liked the ones that made LEED more than the ones that offered BREEAM. That's all. It's about people. There is although, as I said, they're very similar, but we saw that the team who was leading and helping us with the lead could add more added value to us compared to the pre-em team. That's all. So, I mean, I'm not promoting leaders because of it. We have one. So, I mean, it's up to you what you choose. These are now the most recent pictures. About 1 or 2 months ago, we made a new set of pictures. So you see how it looks today. And you also see that we are now in the middle of the construction site. Because at that moment when we started, for the whole area, we were the first one. Everything else was basically empty. And in here you can also see in these pictures that the facade, all these sharp corners, they are actually mirror glass. The mirror glass was selected by the architects because it looks interesting. And in a way, it works very well with the light, so it brings out the building more. So to make an interesting building, yes, we do need architecture, although it's much more expensive, but in certain locations, I think it pays off. And it makes the sunlight, or then at nighttime, the artificial light to play better on the facade, and it stands out in kind of in general environment in city center. Yeah, no normal corners, no 90 degrees, everything is different. Yeah, this is a very good illustration of how it looks like today. It was very hard to fill it in with tenants. I mean, we really had to work hard to, with this kind of shape, to find suitable layouts and room spaces for them. It took us kind of, I would say, extra hours and extra effort to do that. But I'm very happy with the results of what we received in the end. The efficiency of the space, leasable area versus this cross area is actually pretty okay compared to everything. When we did the building, there was key points, location already mentioned. The other parts were more related to technical design of the building that you need to use, in my opinion, in modern offices in city center, like CO2 sensors. Again, everything about efficiency, everything about keeping the extra costs low, and proving to the tenant that what you're creating is, let's say, above average. You want to achieve more, and you have to invest more, but you have to invest smart, because just spending money is very easy, but it also has to have a result. So, as I said, location, surrounding environment, but in city center, usually in most places, the surrounding environment already strong. You have either shopping centers, other office buildings, or other commercial buildings that are supporting your building close by. This means also cross-selling services. In our case, actually very interesting is that half of the floor is occupied by a company called Testour, a pretty big travel agency. And most of the companies who work in our office building started to use them because it's very comfortable. You go 1 floor up or 2 floors down and you're in their office. And I have to say that for them, being in our office is definitely a bonus. As architecture, I also mentioned, one note about architecture, we didn't choose it. When we were looking for the lamp lot, the architecture competition for that one already had happened. It had happened in the year 2005 or 6. The technical design actually was even completed in 2007 for the full building. And because the architectural competition was a requirement by the city, the only option, we had 2 options basically, to make a new architectural competition and find a new design, new layout, or continue with the same one. because we thought that the time is against us, meaning that it's better to continue what we have and make it better. Then we kept the design, and then we just improved it technical ways and also a little bit visual ways. I mean, the mirror glasses and these elements were not there in place before. This one came later. The second part was also that in 2007, I mean, if you think about windows in general, there was a moment, in Soviet times we had usually very small windows. And then the countries progressed, and suddenly we had bigger and bigger windows. Then we suddenly started to have from floor to the ceiling windows, kind of the maximum we can have. Now the trend is actually again to smaller windows because of efficiency again. So in our case, also the viewable area, the size of the windows is actually 1.8 meters. Because you don't read anymore. I mean, how many people do you have in your office who are more than 2 meters? Not very many. And how many people you have who are less than 50 centimeters? I think none. So you really don't need these lower parts to be transparent. You can really easily make them non-transparent, and then your building will be more efficient and easier. Also easier to construct. Just another illustration again about design. And I also show that the columns, there is one in here, one in here, one in here, one in here, and so it continues. The same is here. 1, 2, there should be something in here. There again. And so the shape is complicated, and finding the solution how to do it the best way, I mean, there is no textbook about it, how you do it. You learn during the process. Yeah, this I mentioned, geosensor I mentioned. I want to go to the last part, easier. Elevators, I need to mention elevators because it seems to me very often still that I see new buildings where in the last moments people start to cut budgets on elevators. I think access to your office space is very important, and amount of elevators and also the speed of elevators is important, because if they are too slow, then it creates negative emotion about visiting or going to there. So I understand that there are certain elevators that they are slower than others. So like if you have panorama views, you want to show them the glass wall and nice view, then it's okay, because there are technical reasons why they are slightly slower. But in other cases, I would recommend to try to use maybe not kind of the top maximum fastest ones, but still not the cheapest ones either. More than average should be the elevator speed, because when you go to the office building, there's one thing you really hate is waiting. And you would like to go there fast, so you could start your meeting or go to the work and so on, and also leaving usually. I see most people leave, they always leave a bit too late. So waiting in an elevator is really kind of difficult and again negative. First floor, but I think it's it doesn't apply on now certificated building or not. I mean, first floor, I personally like them to be higher, 4 meters, 5 meters. It depends on what is the total height and what is the easiest for you to do. But it gives a very good positive emotion when you walk in the building. It seems kind of more open, the space, and more welcoming. And we are also pushing in our buildings to first floor to be higher than normal. Let's say 4 meters or 5 meters. It depends on a location and what's more sufficient. On certificates, Priam and LEEDs are pretty similar in one aspect, that you need to think about the people who work there. And to point out again, and I actually like it personally very much, bicycle parking next to the building is very okay. I mean, I think it's even quite standard already today. But having the public showers for workers somewhere in the building, for me personally, when we started this in 2011, it was a news, because it is a requirement by the certificate to get more points. Of course, we want more points, and we did it. But it actually became very popular, and it has given us very much a lot of positive feedback. At summertime, when people come to the office with a bicycle, they have opportunity to go to the shower. And the tenants don't have to have one in their office space. Small, something very uncomfortable. There is in the basement, in the parking area, we have a nice big shower. Actually, there is 3 showers and a normal clothing room, so you have space around you, and it's very comfortable. It's warm, it's clean. Also, people who go to work out, sometimes we even have people who go work out and then they prefer to use showers in our building because they are cleaner than the ones in a gym. In summertime, if you go out and the weather is really hot, you want to have a refreshment during the daytime. You want to have a quick, maybe just 3-minute shower just to cool down. Again, the opportunity is there. And it has been actually given us a lot of feedback, and actually it is helping us to sell other buildings now, because there really aren't so many similar ones. So we have kind of companies who are interested about our future projects, so that if we have something, and it's also for them time to maybe leave the old lease agreement, then we can put them in our building. Yeah, windows I mentioned, so let's continue. So finally, we got the building and we got the LEED certificate. There is a mistake in this slide. Actually, I found it out only yesterday. I didn't know it before. We are not the only one in Baltics anymore. There is a LEED code certificate building also, who knows? Exactly, in Vilnius. Good. They are doing well. In general, a few words about LEED certificate. There is one standard is more American, other one is more European. I recommend you to look on the web page. I will not tell you what is the differences. You have to find it out yourself, or you use consultants. But what I want to point out is the summary, the number of projects we have in every country. So Estonia is doing pretty well, 7. We have 2 silver ones. Silver ones actually are retail, to my surprise. Gold one is ours. And now we have 3 buildings in Vilnius. Good job. And there is one in progress. I expect it to be also gold. Maybe, you know? This last Technopolis building that is in progress, it's also going to be gold? Do you know? Yeah. Okay, good.
5-6 projects late in Lithuania.
Okay, okay. There is no platinum buildings yet. So I put in comparison Finland, because by the way how I analyzed is that if I take Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania all together, and then I think I can compare it with Finland. So if I use this kind of comparison, then we are way behind. They have total 172 projects. They already have 14 platinum buildings, 57 gold buildings. So we still have a lot of work to do. Yes, so they started earlier also with all these standards. But I think why I actually wanted to point it out is that the question that I have also received many times is that, do I think there will be more certificated buildings in Baltics? And yes, there will be. Because the logic is very simple. When you work with international tenants, or you work with international investment companies on real estate investment side, then every country, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, they have different standards on construction. They also have different standards on energy efficiency. I mean, yes, we have these A, B, C categories, but realistically, they are very different. I mean, I was surprised to see some of the certificates, let's say A energy class buildings that have been received here in Lithuania. For the same building, I cannot get A certificate in Estonia because the methodology, how they calculate. There are some assumptions that are used, and the assumptions are different in definitely in Lithuania, Estonian comparison. So you really have nothing to compare the buildings between countries. If you say that I have some kind of a level building, well, only thing is that we can say that I want to have A-class office building, B-class office building. But it's more about quality. It's more about maybe location, and it's not a unified standard, in my opinion. So the only thing that gives us really some kind of a comparison between countries or worldwide are the same standards, BREEAM or LEED. So, I mean, I see sometimes newspaper articles also about us and our developments, about other people who give their opinion. And they actually have said that, in their opinion, we have benefited greatly about new tenants to the fact that we have LEED Gold building. It's yes and no. I mean, did we get any tenants because we were after LEED Gold directly, meaning that we had LEED Gold and then I had a tenant in return? No. But some of the things that the LEED requires that we used in the building, or these helped us. It gave us additional argument why to choose that building, not something else. And my kind of personal view is that certificated building will be the new developments in capitals, in city centers will, I think, almost all will be certified in one way or another. Secondary cities, I don't see so much value in there because it's still some extra cost. And is it needed? Maybe not today. But you don't need to do this certification when you construct, although it's easier to do when you construct. But you can also do a certification on an existing building. It's also possible. So if you decide to do it in 5 years' time, you can do it, no problem. So what's next from our perspective? There is some people in our room who have seen it, but I think, have you ever seen how 250 million euros looks like? This is that one. This is our navigator building, and that was the first one that we constructed, sorry, the line goes like this, in this city marine area. Now, this is our next project. It's building which is called Explorer, and in this one we aim to receive LEED Platinum standard. Hopefully the first one in Baltics. At the moment I don't see any competitors yet. So we are aiming to receive LEED Platinum standard for this building, and it will be ready in February 2016. But at the same time, there is another project in here. This is a multifunctional building, apartments upstairs, retail downstairs, developed also by our team. There's a third building. It's in here. Oh yes, in here. This one is developed by Trigon. They are investors. They are not directly real estate investors, but they have real estate projects also. This is the one. It's going to be a fully residential building as far as I know. And all this big area is going to be the most scandalous shopping center at the moment in Estonia being developed. Because, I mean, if you, its name is Porto Franco. If you Google it, there is a lot of news. This and all these projects now, this one, Dragon projects, this one, and this one, all together, the construction contract volume is about 250 million euros. So, and they will be ready. So this one is the first one in February. This one is end of next year, and that one is about 200, if I remember correctly, it was 250,000 square meters, 3 floors underground parking next to the sea, will be interesting. So it is a really complicated one. We have the best view because our office is in here, so I can see it every day. So far it's progressing fine, okay? And this is our next building now, what we want to do, or it's going to be ready in February. We decided that we'd like to do more lively facade. It's a solution used with LED. I don't think we have any buildings yet in Baltics that have, well, I'll show it again because I like it. I hope it will be in real life so, because we have nowhere to go to learn from, because we have seen the solutions. They say that it works. Give me a few months and I will tell you, will it work? We are now thinking of how to use it really, because when we went to the advertisement companies and media companies, then they said that they have no experience with that one and then they don't know what to do. In principle, we can show them anything. Actually, I have one clip, I didn't take it with me, but because our head of development likes football, then for the presentation purposes, they actually put a football on this building. And you really can enjoy it. Okay. I want to a little bit point out the differences between two buildings, Explorer and Navigator. One is then LEED Gold, and the other one we hope is going to be LEED Platinum. Similarities, I mean, no smoking anywhere in the building. By standard, if you want to get extra points, then 8 meters outside the building you can smoke. Inside the building, nowhere. So you get extra point, but it's important. CO2 sensors, again, to regulate the air quantities in different areas, important. Meters on all technical systems. You need to be able to measure everything. If you design and construct a building today, I actually recommend you to do it regardless, are you going to ask for a certificate any kind or not. It gives you better control over the building. You understand where the electricity goes, where the energy goes. I especially have big problem with the building that were constructed 15 years ago to single tenant. Then usually have only one electricity meter, one water meter, that's all. And the tenant has long left, and then it's today to solve these issues is very complicated, because the way how the electricity is designed and all the systems are designed is done for a single tenant. And to today put all the meters in, it becomes very complicated. Tenant manual, this is again requirement, definitely in LEED, I don't know about PREEM, but the tenant manual explains the essence of energy efficient building, what tenants should do and what they should consider in these buildings. External consultant is again benefit that we used in both buildings to get kind of an independent third party to create more value. But the differences I would like to point out is that the one that this Explorer building we're constructing, it is closer to the box. I mean, 4 squares, simple design. It was needed to get this platinum, because all this very complicated shape is not helping me very much. It will not be so significant, it will not stand out, but that's why we have this LED facade, this screen, because then it will stand out. So we solved that the other way. Vertical sunshades, this is again to eliminate, or not eliminate, we cannot really eliminate it, but to reduce the sun intensity during summertime, and also to reduce the need for cooling. Let's hope it, well, it should work. At least it was modeled many times, and but I'll see it soon in real life. Solar panels. There is a point I would like to make about solar panels to everybody. These solar panels will produce me less than 5% of the energy that the building needs. So really, are they needed? No. But to get extra point in a certificate, yes, I do need them. So there are some areas that are like so-so. You do them because you have to in order to get the maximum, but in a way, is it really efficient? Maybe no. That was new for me, was that this is the first building, at least in Estonia, that will have white roof. We actually got a special certified roof material that is white. And again, the same issue as energy, because it does not absorb heat on summertime. So, when everything is ready, then that's the result. Explorer building, hopefully LEED Platinum. Navigator building, LEED Gold. And this is this huge development I mentioned. And two developments in here. So give me 2 years, maybe I'll bring you a better picture. Thank you.
Definitely looking forward to that picture, actually.
Yeah, me too.
You too, I believe so. Yeah. We have a couple of questions, but first I would like to ask one. So, what is the direction Navigator is facing or looking at?
You mean we're looking to?
Is it looking to Finland or?
No, no, no. We are looking where our parliament is. You know, the important people. Yes, the whole town.
Right. The question is the most popular one that we have is that the architecture of Navigator, the building, is very complicated, as you emphasized, and it obviously leads to some losses of energy.
True.
So the question is, how did you solve the energy efficiency problem?
As I said, from the original design, that was a full glass wall. Basically, everything was one big window. We reduced the window size to 1.8 meters. As I mentioned, I also said that from the original design, we changed all the windows to a 3-layer glass. So with all these, I mean, they all cost me extra. I think with these 2 steps, I invested more about maybe 300,000 euros or something to the facade, just to improve it. But that was the only option I had, really.
So does it pay to build different?
You know, when we constructed it, it was still 2013, so the prices were a bit better. So today I can say definitely yes. But at that moment when we decided that, we weren't sure. Honestly, we weren't sure.
But now you can say that.
Yeah, now it's very okay.
Okay,
yes.
Great. So thank you, Marko, for a great presentation, for a great case study.
Thank you.